Great Neptune in his highest belfry, after the combat and naval battle, the adversary once red grows pale, terror spreading over the great ocean. Hidden gold in mystic deed, the divine word gives essential substance in heaven and earth. Body, soul, spirit, having all power, as much underfoot as is in heaven revealed. Mars, Mercury, and Moon conjoining. Towards the south, extreme drought. Central Turkey, they report earthquake. Corinth, Ephesus in troubled state. The sun and moon fails the light. From one another not far distant. Cold dryness towards the frontiers, danger even to the source of the oracle. Near, far, the failure of the two brilliant lights. Between March and April, suddenly, oh, what a dear loss! But for two great and bountiful ones, bringing aid to all by land and sea. Within closed churches, lightning enters. Citizens within the fort burdened. Horses, cattle, men, wave-hitting wall. Worse provided, hunger, thirst. The fugitives fire in the sky. Upon lances, fighting crows, conflict near, from earth cries for aid, and heaven help, combatants near the wall. The Cimbrians joining their neighbors, ravaging almost all of Spain, people from Guen and Limousin gathering, in league bearing them company. Bordeaux, Rouen, La Rochelle joined, holding around the great ocean sea. English, Breton, and Flemings united, chasing them near Roanne. Great calamity, blood and hunger, 7 times approaching the marine shore. Monaco through hunger, the place captured, the great one dragged in an iron cage. A long time, armies fighting in the air. The tree in the middle of the city falls. Vermin gnaw, steel, face burning, the monarch of Adria falls. Inundations by Heb, Po, Tagus, Tiber, and Rome, and the Lake of Leman and Arezzo, 2 great cities of the Garonne, taken, dead, drowned, human booty being divided. Melting silver by lightning in the golden chest. 2 captives, one eating the other. The greatest of the city overthrown. Submerged, the navy swims. Who the branch of valiant personage, weakening France by unhappy father. honors, wealth, travail, though in his old age, for believing the counsel of a simpleton. The realm changing in heart, vigor and glory, in all points opposing their aggressors. Through death, the infant subjugates France, a great regent, then more contrary. Mars in the heart of an English prince, wanting to seek his fortune and prosperity. Of two duels, one pierces the liver, him hating, his mother loving. Mount Aventine burns at night. In Flanders, the sky suddenly obscured. The monarch expels his nephew. Then scandals the churchmen commit. A long raining of milk. Lightning strikes Reims in many places. Oh, what bloody murder is preparing near. Fathers and sons, kings not daring to approach. Rains of blood and milk in Lucca. Shortly then a change of magistrate. Great plague, war, hunger and thirst made visible. Far away, their prince is dying. Through the regions of Guadalquivir, far from the Abra in the kingdom of Granada, Christians beaten back by Muslims. One of Cordova his land betrays. In the Conca near the Adriatic Sea appears a horrible fish. The face human, the tail aquatic, that is taken without a hook. The city is attacked for 6 days, a battle fierce and bitter. 3 surrendering it are pardoned. Fire, bloody slicing, and cutting for the rest. Going beyond the Ligurian Sea, enclosed in islands and sea, Mahomet contrary, more so the Adria, gnawing the bones of horses and asses. Oh, France! In the enterprise, great confusion, losing men and countless treasure, ought not to tend that way. France, remember what I say. He that obtains kingdom of Naval, when Sicily and Naples are joined, hold Bigorre and lands through Foix and Oléron, from one allied too closely with Spain. Effigies of kings and queens, soothsayers and empty prophets, horn, victim of gold, and dazzling azure, interpreting entrails every morning. Libyan prince, powerful in the west, French impassioned with the Arab tongue, condescends that scholars translate the Arabic language into French. Of weak country and poor parentage, through extremes and peace she attains empire. Young female reigns a long time. Such a reign was never worse. In places diverse, 2 nephews raised. Naval battle, fallen fathers, elevated high, warriors skilled in the art of war, avenging their injury, enemies succumbed. One in armed combat and martial act carries the prize from one greater than he. In bed at night by 6 attacked, naked without armor, sudden his surprise. Assembling on the plains of Media, Arabia, and Armenia 2 great armies. The host near the banks of Araxes, of great Soliman to the ground falls. Approaching from the direction of Tuscany, the great tomb of the people of Aquitaine. Mars nearing the corner of Germany, and in the land of the Mantuan people. The wolf enters the city, near the place the enemies are. Foreign army despoiling a great country. Over alpine walls, friends pass. Divine omens seen in plain daylight, at the eclipse of the sun. Interpreting otherwise, high price unguarded, none foresaw it. Of poor people, a young child born in depths of Western Europe, his tongue seducing great troops, his reign increasing in the Eastern kingdom. One buried apoplectic, not dead, is found to have eaten his hands. The city condemns the heretic. To them, he had changed their laws. Speech being made before the attack. Milan taken through trickery by the eagle. Cannonade knocking down ancient walls. No mercy given. Fire, blood. Over the mountains, the French people and foreign people, dead, overthrown, and taken. In contrary month, near harvest time, the lords drawing up agreement. In concordance, 7 in 3 months to conquer the Apennines, Ligurian cowardice and tempest, destroying them to sudden ruin. The great theatre raised again, the canopy raised, the nets stretched. Too much fanfare becomes wearisome. Exhausted by arches, a long time split. Hunchback elected by council. More hideous a monster on earth not seen. Willing blow extracts the prelate's eye. Traitor to the king, received as faithful. the child born with 2 teeth in his mouth. In Tuscany, stones falling instead of rain. For a few years, no wheat or barley to satisfy those yielding to famine. Beware of passing the Apennine Mountains, people from Tarn, Lot, and Garonne. Your graves are near Rome and Ancona. Frizzled Blackbeard prepares tombstones. Great labors and leaps. The animal tamed by man begins to speak. The lightning, so harmful to the virgin, taken from earth and suspended in the air. The blood of 5 strangers entering the temple profanes the holy ground. A very harsh example to those of Toulouse, of one who came to exterminate their laws. The sky concerning Lyon foretells by fixed stars and clear signs approaches suddenly the change of age, neither yet for good nor for its evil. The old monarch expelled from his kingdom to the east help to ask, fearing Christian might, lowers his flag through port and land to Mytilene. "700 captives crudely tied, drawing lots for half to be murdered. Hope approaching quickly. Not so quickly, though. 15 dead. Gallic realm much changed. The empire transferred to a foreign place, set up with other customs and laws. Rouen and Chartres do much harm to you. The Republic of the great city does not consent to the great austerity. King summoned out by trumpet, the ladder at the wall, city repenting. Paris conspiring to commit great murder, fully carried out by Blois. Those of Orléans want to restore their chief. Detrimental is Angers, Troyes, Langres. Very long reigns in Campania, Apulia, great drought. By extremity the lion placed. The cock sees the eagle, its wing deformed. Of Nuremberg, of Augsburg, and those of Bâle, the greatest carries the prize. By Cologne, the leader of Frankfurt retaken, going through all the way into France. Into Spain runs one of the greatest. Thereafter, a wound bleeds long. Armies crossing over high mountains, destroying all. Then peace reigns. In this year, one eye reigns in France. Unpleasant trouble in the court. The great one of Blois kills his friend. The kingdom in difficulty and double doubt. In the wake of Mars, plague, thunder, and hail. Montauban, Nîmes, Avignon, Béziers, the Paris Bridge, the wall at Lyon, and Montpellier. From 1607, 23 parts. 7 times the British people see change. 290 years stained in blood. France not so, through German support. Aries doubts the Bastanian pole. From the Noric mountains near the Rhine, though too late, is born a great one of the people, defending Eastern Europe and Hungary. No one knows what became of him. The Muslim Empire usurped by a third of his kindred, the greater part put to death. By senile death, the fourth struck by him, for fear that blood does not die by blood. Great proscription throughout all Asia, even in Mysia, Lydia, and Pamphylia, shedding blood because of absolution. A felonious young black one. The great host and sect of the cross rises in Mesopotamia. The Light Company has the nearby river that holds such religious law for the enemy. Near the Duero, by the Tyrian Sea, closed to navigation, comes one to pierce the great Pyrenees mountains, penetrating his discreet force, taking the lead to Carcassonne. Roman power all abased, its mighty neighbor following in its footsteps. Hidden hatreds, civil disputes, delaying the buffoons their follies. The chief of Persia, occupying the great Oikades, trireme fleet against the Muslim people, sacking from Parthia and Media and the Cyclades, rests long at the great Ionian port. The tomb of the great Roman found. A pope is elected the day after. The Senate does not approve of him. Poisoned his blood in the sacred chalice. The great bailiff is to be put to death by one of vengeful blood, neither by death deserved nor by fate, by hands and feet tied, made captive. A new sect of philosophers, despising death, gold, honors, and riches. The German mountains, no borders, confine the increasing followers and flocks. Leaderless people of Spain and Italy, death overcome within the peninsula, their acts betrayed by wanton folly. At every crossing swims their blood. A young man leads an army into the enemy's hands, surrenders itself, the old one to the half-pig born. To Chalon and Mascon, friendship brings. The Great Britain, comprising of England, becomes flooded by high waters. The new League of Aursania makes war. Against them they stand together. In the islands long besieged, takes vigor and force against enemies. Those outside die, overcome by hunger. Such a great famine as never known. Buried alive, the good old man, by false suspicion near the great river. The new old man, ennobled by riches, captured on the road, all his gold for ransom. To the throne the lame one attains, as competitor his bastard kinsman. Rotten he and the realm become, that before it can better itself, it is too late. Naples, Florence, Faenza, Imola, on terms of such angry violence, to the delight of the wretched Nolans, of their own chief made a mockery. Po, Verona, Vicenza, Saragossa, by distant swords, lands wetted with blood, great disease brought by the great shells, though relief near, the remedies far off. Diverse sects born in Germany, promoting bright, happy paganism, hearts captivated and little means to pay the true God make return. The third climate under Aries included, in October, the year 1727, the king of Persia captured by those of Egypt, conflict, death, loss, to the cross great shame. The chief of Scotland with 6 of Germany, captured at sea by Easterners, passing Gibraltar and Spain, presented in Persia to the worried new king. By successive fate, the everlasting order comes to turn through consistent order. At Marseille port, the chain broken, city taken as for the enemy. From English realm, the unworthy one removed. Through anger, the counselor is put to fire. His adherents to low efface, that the bastard hath received. The great, shameless, audacious baller elected governor of the army, the boldness of his contention, the bridge broken, city fainting in fear. Fréjus, Antibes, towns around Nice, locusts blown by favorable winds over land and sea, thoroughly wasted by sea and air, captured, dead, bound, pillaged, without law of war. The long hairs of Celtic France, accompanied with foreign nations, make captive the Aquitanic people for succumbing to their intentions. The great city, thoroughly desolate. Not one inhabitant remains there. Wall, sex, church, and virgin violated by steel, fire, pestilence, and cannon. City taken through deceit and fraud, entrapped by means of the young boar. Near awed by Robin, assault is given. He, all dead, for having deceived. To Spain travels the chief of Ausonia. By sea, he makes stay at Marseille, languishing there, a long time dying. After his death, see, a great wonder. French fleet, do not approach Corsica, much less Sardinia. You shall regret it. You all die, frustrated of the Cape's aid, swimming in blood, being captive. You do not believe me. Such a great army from Barcelona by sea, Marseille trembling with terror, all aid cut off by sea, the isles taken. Your traitor swims on land. At this time, Cyprus, frustrated of its aid by those of the Aegean Sea. Old ones killed, but by speeches and supplications their king seduced. The queen outraged. As gift presented to those of the ocean, the great satyr and tiger of Hirconia. The fleet's chief issues forth, taking the land of Tyrrhene Phocaean. The tree that is long dead and withered, in one night grows green again. The king, long sick, prince's feet unbound. Foes feared his sails fill. The world is nearing its last period. Saturn again, making late return. The empire passes toward the broad nation. The eye plucked out at Narbonne by a hawk. In Avignon, the chief of all the empire makes a stop for Paris desolated. Tricast contains the Annibalic anger. Lyon, ill-consoled with the change. 500 years, more account held of him, who was the adornment of his time. Suddenly, great clarity given, that for this age makes them very contented. Moorish law seen to decline, after another one more seductive. Borytines first give way, through gifts and tongues more attractive. Bossano chief's throat cut by the master of the hounds, blood and grey. The deed instructed by those of the Tarpeian mountains. Saturn in Leo, 13 of February. New law occupies a new country towards Syria, Judea, and Palestine. The great barbarian empire decaying before the moon completes its cycle. Two royal brothers waging fierce war. So deadly is the war between them, both occupying fortified places. The realm and life, their great quarrel. In the meadow fields of Alliance and Venègue, of the Luberon mountain near Durance, two armies in conflict bitter. Mesopotamia fails in France. Force and land in a moment tried. Arrow shot, envious one dies. The least honored amongst the Gauls, victorious over his enemy.